I actually became a better trader with less capital than the one I actually had raised up. It went from just buying and selling to waiting. It's a waiting game. You make a profit is a profit because that's what you're supposed to do. No one claps hands for that accountant with a balance sheet that plays out. I mean, like, oh yes, because you're supposed to do that. You can't just go in there and say, I've got a strategy, but you don't have a financial plan. There's no point of trading if you're not going to be making a profit. That's number one. You're just going to be wasting no matter how skillful you could be, you might as well use a demo account then. I think that's something we need to talk about because that's where I made the biggest mistake.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's somebody from Top Trader South Africa. Today, I've got a very special one. A very, very special guest today. If you have been a proper follower of this channel since just before COVID, 2019, then this guest right here, you will know it. We released a video, I think many years back. I think about 6 years back now. First time we did interviews, episode number 5. I had the privilege of sitting down with Thapelo Khubayi. I said it right.
Yeah. Got it spot on.
I don't get that much often, but like, hey man, shout out.
No, thanks.
Yeah. And we shot many years ago. You guys, for those who know, I've shared my story with a lot of guys. I've told people know that, we started off with just an iPhone 6.
Yeah.
You saw the iPhone 6. How was that experience for you? Can you just bring the mic closer?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so for the first time, coming in?
Yeah.
I think for me it was easy to open up because I think I saw the vision.
Okay.
And I tuned into a couple of episodes before I walked there.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of felt like, these guys are onto something. And I think I was right.
Yeah, you were definitely right about that.
So it makes it easy, honestly speaking, as bad as it was at that time.
Yeah.
But looking at it now, it's like, okay, you know what? It was actually worth it.
6 years later.
Yeah, dude, it was actually worth it, yeah.
Yeah, six years, a whole 6 years later.
Yeah.
I won't lie, it's been quite the journey for us, really. I think even when COVID hit, because I think COVID happened just after that.
Yeah.
Obviously, now we couldn't continue with the
you had to
vision.
stop,
yeah, obviously we had to stop. It took us a while before we could actually get back. I remember I think, was it 6 months after the lockdown? I think about 6-7 months after the lockdown. I don't remember the dates quite correctly. We actually tried to get back into it, but
it just wasn't that good.
That's true. But thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, I think us sitting down, it's times like this that you find that these such times are ordained. We could have done this any other time. I could have easily called you 2 years back, 3 years.
Yeah.
But I think things happen when they need to happen, how they need to happen. And I think obviously we're gonna get into everything. We're gonna forget about that one we shot. This is a fresh one.
With better lighting this time.
We're not using an iPhone 6 today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, man. How are you doing though?
Now I'm good, eh?
Yeah.
Good. I'd say finally, for once in my life, I feel like I'm where I need to be.
Okay. Gee.
Basically having a clear vision of what you need to do. That I would say that time when I came in, as much as I had so much going on, it was just all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd say I'm finally at a point where now I know specifically what I need to do. So that's been a blessing for me.
All right, traders, let's talk about something that actually rewards you for trading. Not just the markets, but real, tangible rewards. Octa's Trade and Win program just dropped in South Africa, and it's basically a rewards vault that opens up every time you trade one standard lot. Here's how it works, and it's really simple. You trade one lot, which equals one prize lot. Any instrument, any closed position, the more you trade, the more prizes you collect. You're stacking these prize lots to unlock digital rewards like Uber Eats coupons, airtime, airport lounge access for your next trip, and even take a lot vouchers. It's not luck. It's not some random spin to win gimmick. You trade, you earn. That's simple. You can find all of this under the Trade and Win tab in the Octa app. Once you pick your gift, it lands within your hands within 5 working days. No delays, no expiry if you keep trading. If you're already trading, why not earn on top of that? It's that simple. Start collecting your prize lots today. Trade and win with Octa. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. So can we just give people a little bit of a background, and then I think we'll just get into a whole lot of things, you know, before we get into the charts. You know, really want to know that who is Thapelo at his core, and like what formed the core, you know. I think we could just get deep into that.
Already it's a deep question.
What do you mean it's a deep? Okay, but truth be told, asking somebody who you are, that's probably one of the deepest questions.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep already.
Yeah, but the background of what formed who you are today. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that. Don't deep it that much.
I'd say grew up in Guyana, small town Guyana in Limpopo. Well, I grew up pretty well, I wouldn't say. Right. It was decent. I would say pretty well, but it was decent. I was fortunate enough to be exposed to, I'd say, a good educational background. And then, from there, obviously moved to Joburg. You know, everyone from Limpopo, you move to Joburg. I mean, and that's the whole goal, you know. Yeah. And obviously, you get there, get exposed to other things and so on. I would say, in the beginning, just to cut everything short, I was, I'd say, I don't know if we have the time, but basically, you know, when you're starting up, you don't know what to do.
Time.
We have time.
Do not worry about that. Time is what we have.
All right, yeah. So I'd say, you know, going to Joburg, you know, you're not sure what you need to do. You know, I just passed, you know.
Okay.
I just passed and I was like, I'm going to do metallurgy. You know, so basically get to UJ and I'm doing my metallurgy course, and then I found myself fixing my friends, or I'd say my restmates' computers.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no, man, this is actually what I need to be doing. So now I need to move to IT. Right? So obviously I fell in love with IT, moved to Durban, and that's where everything changed for me. I think Durban was basically where I found my, I'd say not really my identity as compared to now. But it actually formed a lot during that time. Sure. Because as much as it was a shift from what I initially thought I was going to do when I left high school, I actually discovered that there was actually more to me than what I thought was there. You know, so I would say when I was exposed to, I'd say the IT industry when I was in Durban, I got to basically, you know, if you know IT, you will understand trading. So basically what I was trying to say is when I discovered Forex during that time, it was easy for me to grasp. Oh, yeah. Because of the IT background. Oh, you understand? Yeah. So that played a huge role even today, you know.
And this all happened in Durban, right?
This all happened in Durban. Okay. You know?
From Limpopo, Joburg.
Yeah, imagine. Durban, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Cape Town now.
You know, if I had to read you my whole life story, it's quite long. I won't lie to you. So just going to cut everything short. But everything happened in Durban. Everything started changing for me in Durban because even, you know, like your what's this guy? Cash flows in Durban. You know? Yeah. So everything started, you know, I was starting to become, you know, like interested in what these guys are up to, you know. So I think I was lucky at that time when these guys were still, you know, introducing Forex in SA, I'd say. I know it's been around, but I mean, they made it popular. Yes. So I was around that space during that time. So that's when I actually discovered that, okay, well, this could be something for me. Yeah. You know, but funny part is, you might even know the person. You know, you're in class and you're enjoying your course, and then one guy just decides he's gonna drop out. He's not coming. I'm not encouraging anyone to drop out though. But then next thing you see him in a Golf 5, I think that time, Golf 5 GTI, and then you come in a Golf 6, and you know? Yeah. And I'm asking myself, what is this guy doing now? Just a few months ago, he was in class with me. You know? And now he's driving all these cars and buying all these sneakers, you know. So these guys happen to start Go Forex. I'm not sure if you know Go Forex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So these guys happen to start Go Forex. His name is Ashley.
Ooh.
You know.
Really?
So yeah. So me and Ashley were in the same class. Like, can you imagine? And you look at him now, right?
Yeah.
So I reached out to Ashley and like, dude, you got to show me what's happening here, you know. But then that took me a while because I didn't really have the capital.
Okay.
Because obviously I was a student. We actually touched base. I think it was my first year when I got a job. So luckily I also got a job in Durban.
Okay.
So I was working in IT as well. So now I had the capital. So now I can call home and say, bro, show me what you're doing.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. So those are the time where, you know, they were doing the major keys and so on and that. So it was quite an interesting time. And for me, it actually worked out, you know.
Oh, yeah?
I think it also came with the understanding of the market because I did my own research, obviously. And then sitting down with someone that obviously had a working strategy, you know. So for me, it was like, okay, you know what, this is it, you know. And that's when I started, you know, trading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why was it important for you to... Because you're talking about having the capital. Why was that so important for you at the time?
I'd say, because, actually, that's a good question, right? Because with the capital that I thought I needed when I was actually working, it was actually not the capital that actually made me a good trader.
Yeah.
You know, I actually became a better trader with less capital than the one I actually had raised up.
And actually crazy. It is actually one of those misconceptions that a lot of people have. A lot of people are always on some, no, once I have the money, no, I'm going to show them. And then you get somebody to fund them and then it's like, no, it's tough.
It's not, because now you got the skin in the game, you know. So it was quite an interesting time for me. I would say the capital that I thought I needed, because I remember I actually joined with a couple of guys who had friends like, okay, here's money, here's 3,000, here's, you know, and they're like, dude, just go and do this thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Ashley's going to show you everything. Just go and do this thing. You know?
Yeah.
So, we did that. And, it played out, man. It actually did, you know.
Yeah. And then what happens from there? When you say played out, what played out exactly?
Okay, well, since we have time.
Yes.
Since we have time. So I'd say in the beginning, obviously, I came in there understanding the market.
Okay.
But not knowing any trading strategy. So it's different because you can understand the market. You can understand, okay, you need to buy, you need to sell. This is a MetaTrader application. You know, for me, software was not a big thing. I mean, I understood software. So, but then a strategy now, a working strategy. Because next thing you just buy and then you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
You buy, you're lucky, you sell, you're lucky if you don't have a strategy. It's just basic luck. So I'd say everything played out because after I sat down with those guys, with Go Forex at that time, you actually, I'd say for me, I was fortunate, I don't know about other guys, I was fortunate that there was actually unlimited time that he spent with us, showing us this is actually how you do it, you know? And with all the losses, all the capital lost and everything like that, eventually, when you grasp that specific strategy, you started seeing the profit, you know? And it went from just buying and selling to waiting. You know, it's a waiting game. You know, so there's one thing that I actually learned there was basically waiting for the right entry, you know? So if anyone knows about the major key, it's basically the entry strategy. Okay. If you get the perfect entry there, then you're good to go. You know? Yeah. So it was basically more like a waiting game now, you know, and basically knowing what time to trade. So I didn't even know what times to trade. You know, I just wake up any morning, any day, you're trading, you know. But then there's actually specific times that you can actually trade. That also work for your trading style. You know, so for me, that was, I'd say, a wake-up call.
Sure.
You know? Yeah, so that's when everything changed, you know.
You know, you talk about losses. You just mentioned losses right now. What was the first real loss you took on the charts?
Well, I'd say I had a couple of losses, but the first real loss was the one that hits you hard. Eh?
Okay.
You know, like, I remember I had a 40 grand. 40 grand, my account was about 40,000 or so.
Yeah.
And I lost it, you know, within 2 days.
Yeah, but was this like before you sat down with the guys or after?
It was after.
Okay.
It was after. It was when I thought I knew it all. You know?
So is that the lesson you took away from it?
It was after. It was when I thought, okay, you know what, I got this. You know? Yeah, so I'd say that for me was the biggest loss. Because I remember that even now.
How do we get to that, actually?
It was actually, I remember it was a euro. Euro odd.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trading the Euro odd at that time. So obviously it was an uptrend for a long time. I won't forget this. And there was even a time where I even booked flights. I flew to Joburg. I was partying with my friends,
Oh, yeah.
the whole weekend, and then you're trading on a Monday. So I thought I would had it all figured out. And wake up on a Monday, you can start, okay, the account is no longer, in profit. I'm thinking, no, this is going to bounce back. This is an uptrend, right? I've been trading this thing for a good 2 months or 3 months. So basically that account, I had growed it for a couple of months, trading one pair, So the Euro Aussie, for me, it was kind of easy to understand because I've been trading for a long time, right? And then I actually do not, even today, I do not follow any news or, any fundamental. I don't do that. I just specifically used technical, right? So with the way I was trading at that time, it was still an uptrend, right? And then everything just changed from there, and I started seeing my account going from like a good profit going all the way to a negative, and you're still holding on to it, And yeah, that's when I actually had to learn when to take my losses. The reason why I actually lost so much is as I saw the account going back, the drawbacks, I started funding again. No, let me just give it a little bit more room. Started funding again. Taking from one trading account, transferring to that trading account. It's going to come back. And it didn't, bro.
It never comes back.
It never comes back. You can make profit for weeks, I'm telling you. But then that one loss that you refuse to close, that's the one that takes you out. I don't know how, That's the one that takes you out. So for me, that was when I actually decided, I'm never, ever actually just going to freelance this thing and just say, no stop losses, no take profit. I'm just going to go through it,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was it, yeah.
What's a painful but necessary lesson that you feel like that every trader needs to experience?
You need to experience losses, eh? Yeah, you need to experience losses, and you need to also get to a point where trading is no longer exciting. Like for me right now, trading is not exciting at all. You make a profit is a profit because that's what you're supposed to do. No one claps hands for that accountant with a balance sheet that plays out. I mean, like, oh yes, because you're supposed to do that. So it needs to get to a point where it doesn't get exciting anymore. It's because that's what you're supposed to be doing at the end of the day. If you have a target of $10 a day, you make your $10. There's nothing exciting about that. And if you make 100,000 rand and you get excited, it almost kind of feels like luck. You're not sure if you're going to actually reach that. So you need to actually get to a point where everything just becomes not so exciting. It might get a bit boring, which it should at some certain days. The perks of it, obviously, now you're reaping the rewards of trading, you're financially flexible, that's exciting. But the actual trading itself, you actually need to come to a point where it actually dies down. The excitement dies down a little bit, and then you actually start trading for real.
Sure. Yeah. So after that 40K loss, where's your mind state right at this point?
I didn't even want to trade anymore, actually, at that time.
Yeah.
I remember after that loss, I tried to look like I'm trading, Yeah, like, you're showing the boys your demo accounts.
Oh,
you blew your account. You blew your account,
Yeah.
So you're showing the boys your demo account, and you're also trying to remind yourself that I'm actually a good trader. I can still do this, And yeah, so my mind state at that time was quite bad. But then obviously, because luckily at that time, I hadn't stopped working. I was still working.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to wait for the next salary now. Refund this thing and start again. And that's what I did.
Yeah. So so that's all you did? Is that how you brought yourself out of that hole?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I'd say that was it, eh? Because I think the roller coaster of emotions when you're trading is so much that you even get used to it. That there are days where it's not looking good for you, or a week even. It's just like drawdowns the whole week, And I think it got to a point where I got used to that, So even when I made a loss, it's like, okay, I'll just fund again. You make a loss, okay, I'll just fund again. As long as you don't stop,
Sure.
So that's how I actually got myself out. And I think I was also obsessed with trying to, I'd say, prove to myself that I can actually do it again, Because at that time it was, when you with an account like that, obviously with withdrawals and everything else and spending, and you still have an account that big, it was like, okay, well, I think I've got it all figured out. you know. So I just had to remind myself that I can do it again. I can do it again, and then from there, the account will be a little bit more, you know. And obviously, this was like within my first year of trading.
Yeah.
You know.
Really? Your first year?
First year. Of
Gee.
trading. You know, so it was quite interesting. You know.
Yeah. So how do things like eventually like progress moving forward from that point?
I think from that point, I decided to take it more seriously.
Okay.
So what we did was we created like a group of guys that I also worked with. I think there were about 2 guys that I worked with, and then we'd just wake up middle of the night, you know, we check the Asian sessions, and then we all trade. So I just made sure that I surround myself with people that will hold me accountable, you know. So basically, if we wake up and we're going to be trading as a group, obviously now we make a decision as a group. Okay, guys, you know, what's the story with the US, and you know, and then yeah. So I think that for me became more serious because now there was other guys that you could consult with, you know. So it also became easy to follow your guidelines because now we had to set guidelines. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to follow guidelines and to follow your targets, and obviously to have a monthly withdrawal target as well instead of just profit. You know, so you know, okay, in a month I need to be able to make this. You know, because my whole plan was to quit my job.
Yeah. I think eventually that's
yeah. My whole plan was to quit my job, and I think that's something we need to talk about because that's where I made the biggest mistake.
Sure.
That's where I made the biggest mistake because there's this misconception that if you're trading, you don't need any other source of income, right? Though what happens if you make a loss? I was lucky that time when I made a loss, I was still working at that, so I could refund my account, right? So what happens now if you trading and you make a loss? You don't have anywhere else to get the money to refund, you know? So I think for me, that was the biggest mistake because I didn't understand that I was being lazy. You get it? I was actually being lazy because I thought the freedom of trading, you know, you just wake up in the morning, you trade, you make money, you can go to the gym, you can go to the golf range, you know, just shoot some balls there and there, you know. But if you look at it in a wider perspective, that's basically me being lazy, you know. And then when you're lazy, you've got so much time in your hands, what are you going to do?
Sure.
You know, what are you going to do? You probably go out, spend recklessly, do things you're not supposed to be doing, you know.
Lazy man activities.
Yeah, lazy man activities, you know, basically. Sure. So it was that for me. And I think also that's actually when I started, I would say there was institutional group that we had was called Royal Capital at the time. So Royal Capital, we just like had a couple of students and they would trade because now you got so much time on your hands. You don't even know what to do. So now are you self-employed? What is it? Are you a trader? You know, are you a teacher? What are you?
Yeah.
There's just so much going on. You know? Yeah, so yeah, I'd say I don't know if I lost the plot there for
No,
me.
no, we good. Trust me, just keep talking. I got you.
Yeah. So I think from there that's when things started changing for me.
Yeah.
To start to actually do things a little bit more professionally.
Okay.
You know, to be serious about what you need to do. Are you going to invest in another business? Are you going to start a business? You know, because what we did during the same time when I was trading, what we did, me and a few friends of mine, we tried to do this whole fiber trenching business and everything like that.
Okay.
You know, just so you can stay busy, basically.
Yeah.
Because you trade in the morning. I used to wake up at 4, and then about 9 in the morning, I'm done.
Sure.
You know, what do you do with the rest of the time, you know? So me and a couple of guys were like, okay, let's just start businesses. Let's just dabble there and see what we can do, you know? And I'd say thanks to obviously trading, I had so many failed businesses, and I was able to start another one and another one and another one, you know? So
what has that done for you, the failed businesses? Because I think as of lately, you know, I've been having conversations about failure a lot. You know, there's a quote I recently just learned. I hope I'm saying it correctly, but I'll paraphrase from what I understand of it. It says, you don't fail 10,000 times. You just found 10,000 ways it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work, yeah. Yeah. Also, you know, it's also a reminder of why do you want to start this business? Are you doing it for the money? Are you doing it because someone told you about it? You saw an opportunity? Are you passionate about it? You know, obviously your passion must align with the money as well, somewhere, because it's a business. It needs money. You know, so I'd say with the failing businesses, in my early stages, so I'm going to speak of my experience.
Yeah.
in my early stages with the failing businesses, it actually just led me towards something that I was actually good at. So I went back to the drawing board. I'm like, what can I do? I know I can trade, but what else can I do? And I was like, okay, you know what? I can code. So let me just start a web development company. So at that time, there was this travel agency, met through connections, going out, socializing. So there's a guy who owned a travel agency and managed to, secure a contract with them. So they were kind of like financing me for a while. So that kind of put me afloat for a while, So that was, I would say, my business or my biggest client at the time. So even when I left my job, I already knew where I'm going to get this, the income from, until obviously things changed during COVID. So everything was smooth until obviously my biggest client had to shut down.
Sure.
Remember first month they couldn't pay, second month they couldn't pay, third month. Then this money's not going to come in now.
Yeah.
So now I just got to go back to trading, and start another business. So yeah, I would say with at least trading, it actually gave me, I'd say, a source of income, man. No matter what I was trying to do, it always gave me a source of income.
Sure.
I could try something, it fails. I could get this job and I, leave it, but at least there would be like at least a source of income to start something.
What I'm understanding is that diversification is extremely important.
Very important, and I think that's one thing that I actually want to stress today. When it comes to what do you do with your profits? You're making money. What do you do with your profits? Are you going to buy cars? You're going to buy houses? And until when? You're going to go out. You're going to party. Yes, but until when? So and when you hit that wall, what do you do? So it also I'd say use this as a tool, because no one just trades because you just like seeing charts. I don't think there's anyone in the world that says, I like looking at charts. You trade,
No, some people are just like, I'm just obsessed with the charts.
No, but you need to make money. You need to make money. And then when you make the money, what do you do with it? Because the end goal, I'd say, is just to be financially free, or flexible at least,
Yeah.
So just when it comes to diversifying, I think it's really important, because you could even, depending on the type of trader that you are, you could even be a doctor and a trader. I've got friends that are engineers, man, that are still trading today. But you never see on the socials or anything like that. But they trade every day. They will tell you, hey, I just bought a new big screen TV with my account that I just, they're flexible.
Yeah.
So it basically what I'm trying to say is you don't really need to say, since I'm a trader, this is the only thing that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
There's other things that you could do that you're actually quite good at, But would you leave trading? Would I leave trading? No. Sure. No matter how successful I may get in another business, I would never stop trading,
Yeah. I've always had an issue. I feel like, I don't know how to ask this question, but I'll find a way to ask it. In our communities, like African communities or South African communities, since we're in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, Forex is extremely popular. But we find it to be so misunderstood. Do you think that is true, that we do not understand Forex fully as the South African community? In as much as we are there, we're trading, we get it, But do you think there's a certain level of misunderstanding that's present?
Yeah, a lot actually.
Okay.
Quite a lot. One thing I would say is there's this misunderstanding that people think trading is easy. Especially people that trying to use Forex as a fallback plan. Like, okay, I didn't do well at school, I'm just going to trade. And it's actually harder than what you think.
Exactly.
Or maybe just look at some guy. Yeah, like I'll give an example about maybe certain guys that I know that probably dropped out, or maybe they did whatever they wanted to go and do, and they became successful. But those are unicorns, man.
Sure.
Those are unique individuals. Those are people that actually have, I'd say, a certain type of focus when it comes to actually trading, So the misunderstanding that most people have today, especially in South Africa, is that they think, okay, well, if I couldn't become an engineer or become a doctor or lawyer or whatever, I'm just going to go into trading because this thing is easy, And it's actually not easy.
No,
it's not easy.
Very distinct from easy.
I think it's one of the, I would say, when it comes to understanding, it takes way longer than what you do to get a degree. to actually understand what trading is all about. you
Yeah.
know? So that's one of the misunderstanding, and also the fact that if you start trading today, tomorrow you're gonna be rich. You know, so that's also something that I'd say has been misunderstood. I wouldn't talk about the scams.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't talk about that. Even though, because we I think at this age we're not in the business of trying to convince people that forex is not a scam. You know, to each his own. So
oh, interesting.
yeah,
Interesting that you actually say that, though.
Yeah, no, not in the business.
We're not in the business of trying to convince Forex is not a scam.
No.
And I always say, no one Forex didn't scam anyone. People scam people,
And like in the oil industry, I've got a couple of friends that are in like the fuel distribution and oil
Okay.
and stuff like that. There's more scammers there than there is in
yeah.
Forex. Yeah. It's just that they don't have Instagram accounts. But there's actually more scammers there.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of people get knocked there. A lot of fuel gets, I'm telling you, you'd be surprised you found out about it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, that's the whole difference, man. It's just that with obviously with Forex, everybody has a Instagram account, and look at me.
Yeah,
I bought
yeah.
a new rented. So there's just those type of things.
So we come to a place right now where and you know what? When somebody comes to me and they ask me, hey, I want to do Forex, what now? I'm like, okay, cool, that's nice.
It's nice. Yeah, okay.
That's
Interesting.
nice.
Yeah.
Start is, do you have time? Let's start there. Let's forget
Yeah.
everything else. Do you have time? I always ask that question. But there's also this misconception, obviously, that we've seen being presented by our predecessors, not just our predecessors, but people who made trading seem easy. And made trading, yes, we understand trading. It's quick money. We understand that. But also, there's also a level of mastery that comes behind it, because I think nobody actually focuses on the mastery part of trading. I think we're just so focused on like, I need that fast money. And we know that Forex can provide you with that fast money. But it's hard to get to that level of fast money.
To understand how to make the fast money.
Exactly the point. So it's like, how do we shift that culture, per se, if I can put it like that, of like moving from that thinking of like that quick money mentality? In as much as I've heard a lot of guys say Forex is a get rich quick scheme, sharp, we know the money can come in fast.
Definitely, yeah.
But like, how do we shift our mentality from thinking like that into a mentality of mastery, like mastering this craft right now? Because I think people are so focused on the money coming in fast, they forget that this is a skill that needs to be mastered.
Yeah. I think one thing that I would say, and I'm a huge advocate on this one, is killing the noise, man.
Okay.
Killing the noise, I would say, is killing all the distractions from what you see on your Instagram page or social media.
Sure.
Because you need to understand why you're trading. It's basically like if, for example, right now you want an M4, and I ask you why you want an M4. If the reason why you want that M4 is not just for yourself, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So basically, everyone you get into trading, you want to get into trading so you can make money, so you can do what? You want to flex. You want to show people that I've got it now. Because that's where people actually lose the plot. So when you kill the noise, you're able to now say, okay, this is what is in front of me. Everybody's got needs, man. Financial needs, I'd say. Right. So if you kill the noise, now you're able to identify that the areas in your life that need that financial injection. So just stop looking at your, most popular trader on your Instagram that's making 100,000 right now. And you need to pay the water bill or the lights or something. There's just everybody's got needs. So if you kill that noise, you're able to now focus your reasons as to why am I trading and how much do I actually need right now.
Sure.
Based on the account that you have. Because people think, I've got 1,000 rand and then tomorrow my 1,000 rand must be 50. It can happen. I've seen guys that flip accounts are crazy, right? But obviously you can lose it all.
Yeah.
Or maybe put in more and say, no, if I have more money, I'll make more, which is not true. So, if you can blow $100, you can blow 100,000.
Yeah.
So I would say you need to be able to kill the noise and identify the reasons why you're trading and why you need that capital at that specific time. So what that would do now, it will just change your shift as, let's say for instance, you have a 9 to 5, you earn maybe 50 grand a month or so, but all that 50 grand goes straight to all your bills. You can't afford to do anything else outside of that. All right. if you are trading with a specific target and a goal, and say, okay, at the end of the month, I need to be able to maybe fix that car that broke down, or maybe fix that, that patio or the roof or leaking roof, whatever that may have been, right? So if you do that with that intent, it becomes easier now to scale your profit based on, I would say, your personal need, and as compared to trying to seem like you're doing well as a trader. And also another reason why I would say lately, or I haven't really been big on socials and everything like that, is because I just wanted to teach myself to enjoy, I'd say, a quiet life. To be able to enjoy a quiet life and still stick to my own plans. I still do see guys like that are doing pretty well on Instagram that, but I choose not to follow because I know that I might get distracted by those type of things. I'm not saying now everybody must go and unfollow everything, but I'm just saying, like, don't just kill the noise. If you are going to be inspired by someone, it's beautiful, man. I mean, I was inspired too, but just kill the noise and just focus on what it is that you're trading for. First, identify that, because obviously you're trading to make a profit, to make money. You're not just, even though you say there are guys that like seeing charts, I'm not, I'm not a Picasso, painting. But you need to identify, what are you trading for? What are you going to do with this money? And then eventually, as things get settled, I would say as things get stable in your life financially, and then you start to treat it almost like I'd say almost like a business, where this is how much I need to make so that I can get this. This is how much I need to do this to build this. This is how I need to grow my account. And then now you'll be able to actually stick to your trading plan and financial plan. Because most people don't understand there's a trading plan and a financial plan that you need to, as a trader. You need to have two.
Okay, let's actually get into that.
So trading plan is basically like your trading strategy. Right. These are the rules that I do not break. Right. These are the rules that I'll stick to these rules, and this is my trading plan. But your financial plan now is risk management, basically, as to, okay, this is how much I'm targeting for the week, this is how much I'm willing to lose for the week or for the month, and so on. So basically, when you now trading from, I'd say, I'll just give a 100,000 Rand account, and then you know that by the end of the year, your target is for 500,000, if I say, right? So each and every day, there needs to be a target that you need to reach every day that you're trading. Also, you need to be aware of how much you could potentially lose, and still stick to that financial plan at the end of the day, and still be able to do other things as well, like withdrawals, and still reach your targets at the end of the year.
Sure.
So you can't just go in there and say, I've got a strategy, but you don't have a financial plan.
One goes with the other.
Yeah. You need to have both.
And I'm thinking about it right now. People probably have amazing trading plans, amazing strategies.
Great strategies, but bad financial planning.
And then they wonder why it's not working out, But on the other side, you can't even hold money to yourself for like a period of time. But on the other side, you're brilliant on the charts. Amazing.
Really yeah. So those are the things that I think most traders need to have. You can have your trading plan and you have a financial plan. Sure. It's going to make things much, much easier and very comfortable, if I put it that way.
Sure.
Very, very comfortable. Because you need to trade comfortably at the end of the day. You don't want to be stressed out. Because I think most traders go into the industry with the mindset of, I want to be financially flexible. I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Go wherever I want and stuff like that. So in order for you to actually do those type of things, you need to have a trading plan and a financial plan. It's going to make things much, much easier.
Now we're talking about planning and having trading plans and whatnot. I've got a quote here. Without emotional discipline, you lose more than money in trading. You lose yourself. I think I just want us to talk about discipline right now, because we understand, in as much as you have a plan in place, what's the point of the plan if you can't stick to the plan?
You can't stick to it. Yeah, true. I'd say, now that you're talking about emotional, discipline is an emotional trait, right?
Okay.
So I would say, first you need to identify yourself. If you can identify who you really are, what type of person you are, whether it could be trading or in general. For example, I'm pretty laid back. I'm chill dude. Right? I'm pretty laid back. I don't really like the whole fast and stressing and So if I know this is the type of person I am, it's easy for me to now identify the type of trading style that I need to implement for me to actually, just be emotionally, mentally fine throughout this whole thing. Because trading can be chaotic.
Okay.
So for me, what worked for me was swing trading. So I'm very comfortable with holding a trade for weeks, man, or months. I'm very comfortable with that, and just reach your targets. And if it doesn't, you reevaluate. If it doesn't reach your target, reevaluate, take what you can at that time. I'm very comfortable with that. Do I day trade? Yeah, there are some times when I see opportunities and I day trade and everything like that. But I've noticed that during those times, that's when I get stressed out more.
Okay.
So I didn't ever want to get to a point where when I'm trading, I need to withdraw now on Friday because I need to pay for, I don't like trading in that type of style because it's very stressful, and that's when you actually start making losses because psychologically it's just going to mess with you, So I just wanted to get some leg room, and trade comfortably.
Yeah.
So by understanding who you really are as a trader and identifying your trading style, it becomes very easy.
Yeah.
So for some instance, I know guys that cannot hold trades for 3 days, and they do well.
I'm one of them.
And they're doing well. They're doing well. That's their trading style. There's a friend of mine. On the first episode when we came in, I came with a friend of mine. His name is Tantle.
Yeah.
This guy, he trades. He's crazy. He risks everything, right? He risks everything. That account is just gonna. If that account was a person, it'll be bruised. He would rev it. He would rev that account.
Yeah.
But that's his trading style, and it works for him. Because he can afford to actually risk all that money.
Yeah.
Even if he loses, it's nothing much. He can afford to lose it.
Oh, okay.
So even his trading style matches with his personality.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because he doesn't mind, okay, let me do this, I'm going to make it quick. Oh, I lost it. Okay, well, I'll fund again next week. Next week, it just does again, he funds it and trades the same way. I would have said, okay, I'm not going to do the same thing again. No, I'm not doing that again. But with him, that's his trading style, that's his personality, and it works. So first you need to basically understand who you are and what works for you.
Yeah. What habits have you formed along the way that have been able to keep a cool head for you? Because like you're saying, you're a chill guy. Obviously, it's your personality, it's who you are. But what habits have you had to form along the way to be who you are today?
I'd say for me, it was more, I'd say my social circle.
Okay.
Yeah, my social circle played a big role in the way everything turned out with my character and identifying how to trade and everything like that. Because I kid you not, I do know a couple of guys that are really, really, really well off, and they live a very quiet life.
Yeah.
So they live a very quiet life. And for me, to see someone like that, it's quite inspiring, man,
Yeah.
Because you don't feel the pressure of trying to prove to anyone about anything. Obviously, you'll see by their cars that they drive, the houses that they stay in, maybe when they walk through, there's the perfume that they, they have on, type of thing. But other than that, it's just basically living a quiet life. So for me, my social circle, and I would say because most of the guys are older than me.
Okay.
Me and my cousin of mine, I think we're the youngest in the group.
It's always nice being the young ones in the squad.
The young ones in the squad. Yeah, because we're the young ones there.
Yeah.
They're quite older than us, and we've basically learned a lot from them. Based on how they spend their money, how they spend time with their families, and so on like that. So it just I never felt the need to flex in any way. Even though growing up when you go to a certain event or place, you feel like, let me just buy this so people can see that I'm doing this. You get that. But I would do that, but not with those guys.
Sure.
Not around those type of people, because it was pointless to them. Yes, it was very pointless. Yes, they would say, yeah, go ahead, do have fun. But to them, it's quite pointless. You basically making yourself look a bit stupid in their eyes.
Yeah.
So I would say my social circle played a big role. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from my side. Just hang around the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's trying to flex and.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You said something so powerful Sorry, this fly. You said something so powerful just before we started recording. I know that where you signed the form, and Jay's like, "Yo, you sign everything." You like, that's my identity right there. That's my name. That's my identity. You know, right there. I don't know if this question is a little bit too philosophical.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask it anyway because I think we're at a place right now where trading and forex have become something sort of a religion, if we can put it like that. You know, the question is forex a skill? A skill, a business, or a belief system?
That's a good one. I'd say it's a business because you need to make money.
You're very business minded. You're just like, bro, let's start with the money. Everything else can fall.
No ways. There's no point of trading if you're not going to be making a profit. That's number one. You know, you're just going to be wasting no matter how skillful you could be, you might as well use a demo account then. You know, use a demo account and then you can teach people and that they'll make profit then if you don't want to make the profit. But I think trading, just treat it as a business. And then it eventually becomes a lifestyle. You know, first I'd say business because it needs to pay.
Yeah.
This thing needs to work for you.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you spend 3 hours a day, 6 hours a day, at the end of the day, this thing needs to work for you as well. You know, it needs to bring in some sort of fruit. Right?
Sure.
So I'd say it's a business. And then after that, I'd say it's, what was the other word?
Skill and belief system.
A belief system. Yeah, belief system because no matter what you may be able to do, you always know that Forex will always fund, or trading, not just Forex, but trading will always fund that vision or dream that you kind of have. You know, so if you believe in that, it becomes easier to dabble in so many things.
Sure.
You know? Yeah, and then when it comes to skill, skill most importantly. You know, but yeah, for me, I would say let's just say business.
Yeah, nah, that's all right. You know, I think one of my favorite topics, and for people who follow me or follow this podcast very religiously, understand that one of my favorite topics is money management.
Yeah.
You know, I think for me, that's basically the holy grail on and off the charts. You know, once you have money management on lock, I think you will go really, really far. You know, but I just want to ask you about your perception on money as well, because I think we're actually talking about this financial literacy, especially for the African culture for us. Let me just say the blacks, you know. Yes, we know there's some white people who aren't really good with money as well, and other different races based here in South Africa, you know, but the predominant ones that have a disadvantage, who are disadvantaged, becomes black people, you know, which is really sad though. So I just want to ask, you know, I don't know what your earliest memory of having money is, but compared to that, how has it changed along the way to who you are compared to who you are today?
Yeah, I have to think back now.
Or we can just start at the beginning of Forex. So I think your Forex, let's actually kind of bring it like this from your journey, you know, because obviously you receive money in the beginning. That whole view kind of on money kind of just changes along the way.
Yeah, I'd say for me, speaking from where I am right now, I think the biggest thing that I'd say, and obviously these are things that I wish I've done earlier, especially when you started trading, when you're making a little bit of profit, save and invest. It doesn't matter what you're investing in. It could be the slowest or the least returns, as long as you're investing in something.
But guys don't want to invest because we have this thing of like, why should I invest? I could just do it myself.
Yeah. I'm my own investor because I can trade. Yeah,
exactly.
You could actually like buy something that you cannot sell easily. For example, physical gold.
Yeah.
Right? You could basically make 100,000 rand today, and you only need 20, right? And you know that tomorrow you can make another 100. Take that 80 and buy maybe physical gold. You know that's not easy to dispose. You know, there's a process to actually go sell it and get a license for it, you know, certificate for it and so on, you know. So rather invest in things that are not easily disposable, but obviously are an investment, you know. I'd say that's one thing that you could do, you know, because it doesn't mean just because you can save or you can trade your own investment. Yeah, true, man. But there's a bigger picture here. You know, you could buy shares at a company that you know is doing well, Apple, for example, Facebook, and so on. You can invest in those type of things. Buy stocks for your loved ones, your families, your children, grandchildren, things like that. You know, and also have like I'd say a big savings account. That's one thing that I would advocate for all the traders. Have a huge savings account, because you never know when you're going to have like a losing streak, man. Because it gets to a point where the whole month, that's a drawdown month.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole month's drawdowns.
Yeah.
What happens now if you go for 3 months losses? You know, that's part of the game.
And those things do happen.
They happen. And no one wants to talk about it. You can go for 3 months or 6 months, and from the capital that you thought you had, you're actually not making profit. You know, or as good as, or maybe just breaking even. For 2 months, you're just breaking even, based on how much you've invested.
Yeah.
You know, so there could be those type of things. For me, it happens because I'm a swing trader. I can wait for a month or 2 or 3.
Okay.
So I experienced that quite a lot. You know,
Sure.
for day traders, I mean, maybe they make profit now and tomorrow, you know. So it's kind of hard to scale on how much you actually made at the end of the day, you know. So I would say the biggest thing that you need to have is a savings account, you know.
Fatherhood. How has that shaped you as a trader and as a man?
You can never be ready for fatherhood, eh?
Oh yeah.
You can never be ready. I thought I was ready. You know, for me, I'd say fatherhood has taught me how to. That's why I speak so much about savings. You know, because you never know when you're gonna need money for anything, right? So you always need to be, because the baby doesn't know anything, man. I mean, the baby just wants whatever they need at that time. They don't know anything. So to be able to access those funds at any given time, it's actually quite relieving, you know. And that's something that me and my partner are actually working towards that. Me and my wife are actually working towards that, like building something very solid for my child, whether it's now or in the future, you know, so that they don't really have to, I wouldn't say go through what we went through, but not have any financial need, you know, because I also want to get to a point where I don't want to stress about money. I just want to focus on raising my child.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I want to do. Focus on, is he doing drugs? Who's he hanging out with? Is he doing well at school? Things like that. You know? I want to get to a point where that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Not, I need to pay for this bill. Like, no. You know, I want to get away from all of those, you know?
Yeah.
So being a father just actually taught me that. And also being able to, I'd say, leave something behind. That's why I'm saying when it comes to saving or investing in anything, I can't guarantee that my child is going to be a trader as well.
Yeah.
What if they don't want to be? Because I'm trading so that they don't have to be. They can just choose whatever they want, you know? So what if they doesn't want to be a trader? So where is all that money that I'm in saving, or since I'm my own investment and I can trade, and if I'm not around, who's going to do that for my young one? You know?
True.
So rather put that money in shares, bonds, anything.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, for me, that really shifted my mindset as a human being, or as a man. And then as a trader, it made me feel like I actually needed to do a little bit more. I think that's also, obviously I wasn't going to say no to you inviting me here. You know, but that's also one of the reasons why now I'm at a point where it's we have this community now. It's called Market Gateway.
Okay.
Market Gateway. I don't ever want anyone to go through what I went through in terms of trying to figure out, first of all, your trading style, and how to manage your finances. You know, it can get really stressful, especially the times when you actually need it. You know, so basically, I thought, you know what, let me just do something for free. So our trading community is basically free. You get all my trading journals, everything that I've done. I put everything there. You know, for some reason, I just felt the need to kind of like give back a little bit more. You know, so that maybe there's a guy who's watching this right now. His woman is pregnant, and financially things are not, looking good.
Yeah.
You know, you can just go to my Market Gateway, get my journals, get my trading plans, everything there for free. You know, because I don't think I'd want to see another man go through the hassle of trying to figure out what to plan or how to plan your finances and so on like that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be a woman too. I'm not saying another man. just men.
Just to be politically correct.
So for me, I think with the birth of this market gateway, that's why I actually changed my socials as well
Yeah.
to do like a market gateway, just to be able to give away free trading material. Free. Obviously, my trading views is public as well. You know, just basically give everything out there for free.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever want to hear a story about someone saying I couldn't do this or I was trading and I'm struggling with this, and you know, it shouldn't be that way. You know, so I think that for me is it's a big thing, being able to do that.
Yeah. The responsibility of being a parent, how does that how has it shifted your perception on risk and reward?
I didn't change much, eh?
Okay.
Yeah, I just kept it the way it is because I don't think the birth of my son made me feel like I need to risk more.
Okay.
In terms of trading.
Yeah.
You know, because at the same time, like I said, my trading style doesn't allow me to trade aggressively. You know, because I think I get really invested when I've noticed when I'm trading aggressively, I get really invested in what's happening now and drawbacks and all that. You know, so my trading style doesn't allow me to do that, and I always need to keep a level head at all times. You know, so that I can reach my targets, reevaluate. Are we exiting? Am I staying in? You know, so I kept everything the same basically. What I'm doing more now is basically trading more, I'd say. You know,
Okay.
spending more time on the chart, looking for more opportunities. But if there's no opportunities, there's no entry. You know, I don't force entries now just because I need, you know. No, I didn't really change much.
Yeah.
I just kept everything the same.
Okay. No, that's cool. What does your like daily routine look like actually?
Okay, well, this might get me a little bit of trouble with my clients. So, so basically, my daily routine, because I'm a full-time trader, and I've got a business. So, so my business is like IT consultancy and so on. You know, so I do have once in a while go out to clients, and you know, help them with what they need at that time. But basically, wake up in the morning. First thing that I'll do is obviously check your. I don't know, it's a healthy habit or a bad habit. Check your emails. Right.
Right.
Yeah, let's check your emails where I need to go. But for me, most of the time, I'd say it's more than just a day-to-day thing. I plan my weeks ahead.
Okay.
Because, for example, now I know Monday to Wednesday what I need to be doing. You know, so Thursday and Friday, I'm kind of like available or floating in between there.
Yeah.
You know, so I know probably a week prior, you know, to what I need to be doing. So, but in general, it's basically... I'd say slow.
Yeah.
My days are slow.
Okay.
Ever since I moved to Cape Town, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say ever since I moved to Cape Town, my days are pretty slow.
Away from the noise.
Yeah, away
outside.
from the noise and everything like that. And I think for me, that's actually what I've wanted. And the reason why I'm saying slow, I'm not saying I'm not doing anything. You know, I'm just doing it at a lesser pace than what I was in Joburg. You know, if you look at Cape Town, you know, that's why they call it the mother city. Everything happens in 9 months. It takes a while.
Yeah.
So my days are pretty slow, and that makes me more productive. If I put it, because now I've got a level head throughout the day. There's no rush, man. I'd say my days are pretty, at this point right now, pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortable. Do I want to do more? Yes. I will be able to do more. I'll be able to allocate more time to other things. Yeah, but right now, it's quite comfortable.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much.
So, that was it.
Like, well, I want to keep going. We
Yeah,
can keep going.
But there's
okay.
more.
If the market could talk, what would it say about you?
Yeah. What could we say? I'm nonchalant or something. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, they say that's Taphelo.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's you?
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll work out. You know, because I don't really like to stretch much about the market. You know, I used to be one of those guys that trade and stick, you know, always check, you know, how my trade's doing today,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, now I just trade, put my stop loss, my take profit, and I close that thing. I'll probably check it maybe in the next day or two.
Okay,
you know?
I hear you, né? And I think a lot of people struggle with that. I think I'm also one person I know myself. You know, how do you get to, or is it just a personality thing?
Yeah, I think it's more like a personality thing, I
Yeah.
would say. Because with me, I'm pretty comfortable with losing whatever I've set as a stop loss. So it's fine. Okay, if I'm going to lose $100 on this trade, it's cool. I should lose $100 on that one. And that's fine. If I make $300 on the take profit, that's also fine. But I won't just go back. It's like planting. So you need to treat trading almost like farming. You know, if you plant your seeds, you're not going to go there every day to check if it's sprouting or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
It gets to a point where now, especially if you're swing trading, you need to treat it more like a long-term type of goal, you know? So I won't just always check there. That's when you get stressed out quite a lot. You know, when you keep checking the charts, that's where the chaos is, you know? So for me, I just thought I just want to be away from that noise. Once I enter my trades, I leave them as they are.
Yeah.
I don't move anything. I don't move my stop loss. You know, I obviously, unless if you have a trailing stop that's on the positive, right? But other than that, I just let it be.
Yeah. You know, something earlier on that you actually mentioned, which was actually quite interesting. You said there was a point where you were trading without a strategy or yeah, but do you think many people still go ahead and trade without strategies?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd say it is. They do have a strategy. It's just not a good one. If I put it that way, because you know, you get guys that analyze based on maybe candlesticks. This candlestick did that, and you know, things like that, and they make the entries based on that, right? Without having to check other factors as well, you know. So, for example, with me, when I place a trade, I have a couple of confirmations at first. Yes, I do check my candlestick patterns, what a candlestick saying, and then I check the trend and everything like that. So there's a couple of confirmations. Have you noticed, not to badmouth anyone, obviously, during NFP, right? Just to give you an example. People do countdowns. 3, 2, 1, you know? Boy, isn't that gambling? You know what I'm trying to say?
Make it sound like we're getting into the new year.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So isn't that more like gambling now? You know? So what strategy? Okay, well, there is a thought process behind it. I just can't understand it. Maybe someone will teach me. You know?
Yeah.
I just can't understand the whole thought process behind those type of well, I'll say scalpers. You know, maybe scalpers will be able to tell us what strategies that they use. But on where I stand right now, I can't say much because I don't trade in that way, you know. And I've never really seen anyone close to me that trades like that. I'll be very intrigued to meet someone that does, so they can explain to me. I'm open to that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to criticize anybody. Yeah, but yeah. So those type of traders, I'd say, are interesting to me. You know.
Yeah. How do you know when? Actually, it's interesting. You're a swing trader, and I think obviously, there's a big difference between scalpers, swing traders, position traders. With a scalper and a day trader, and also a swing trader, obviously the time to find out when a trade is wrong is very, very different.
Yeah.
With a scalper, you find out almost immediately.
Right then. Right then. Yeah.
But as a swing trader, how do you know that that your trade is?
I'd say the longer you've been on a drawdown.
Okay.
You know, that's why I always speak about reevaluating. For example, if I set my trades and I think, okay, well, for the month of for the month of June, going into June now, I already know where to go, like which pairs to trade, right? So basically, towards mid-June or end of June, if I'm not in a profit, then I need to reevaluate and just let that go.
Yeah.
So it takes a bit of time. You can't really know in terms of a time period.
Yeah.
You know? But if you're in a drawdown longer than you should, then obviously you need to reevaluate and just close it off. Or reanalyze.
Okay.
You know, I always go back and analyze again. Although I do have my set take profit and my stop loss, I always go back and reevaluate. You know, because there's this misconception that traders have that the market follows your strategy. It doesn't.
What?
You know? Yeah,
Okay.
just because, you know, your strategy says this and then the market must do exactly that. You know, and that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why you need to go back and reevaluate. Am I still on the right track? If not, then you get out. So, but then if I reevaluate or reanalyze, okay, and we're still in the right track, my confirmations are still there, and then I'll just hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I just exit.
Yeah, you speak about drawdown, you know, and obviously, like we said, we've got a little bit of comparison. We're going to talk about swing trading because that's what you do. What's your emotional process during a drawdown?
As long as it's, emotional process, I think maybe because I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
As long as it's still a bit further away from my stop loss, man. Obviously, stop loss is not nice.
Yeah, it's never nice.
It's never nice, you know. As long as you learn not to move it, I think that just don't move it.
Yeah, have you had instances where you move your stop loss?
Yeah, and that's when you start blowing accounts. You know, you move your stop losses a couple of times, you're gonna blow that account.
Yeah,
trust
that's
me.
true.
Yeah, trust me, you're gonna blow it. You move it once, you're gonna do it again. If you can do it once, you'll do it second time. Do it second time, then I don't know, 10 times, and then your account is gone. You know, so. I'd say one thing that I would do is not move my stop loss, even during my drawdown. Just basically reevaluate, like I would say, reevaluate to make sure that I was still in the clear. If I still reevaluate and I was wrong and I hit my stop loss, but it won't hurt as much as because I plan to lose that money.
Yeah,
it's not hurt as much as I'll see scalpers or I don't know if scalpers get hurt when that happens. But it won't hurt as much as that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This fly is a paid actor, guys.
It's hard to be in there.
And it's trying by all means. Just like guys, I got paid for this job. Nah, it's all good. No, Taphelo.
Yeah.
It's
right there.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Taphelo, no, thank you very much for today. I think you gave some extremely valuable insights.
Yeah.
Things that will definitely help. You got me thinking about other things as well, and I appreciate that so much. I know after 5 years, almost 6 years. I think it's 6 years.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's good to see where you are today, how you've grown as well, even the thinking as well. It's completely, it's very different. So for those who are very interested, you can go and watch the first one.
And you see what I was saying at that time. I wonder what I was saying, man.
Yeah, I'm also very curious.
Yeah, I need to go back there and just figure out what I said there. But I tell you that. My mindset has shifted.
Yeah.
Even the things that I want now is different. The way I treat, I'd say the industry as a whole, and treat other traders as well.
Yeah.
One thing that I actually just wanted to say while we're here, there's just a lot of negativity around trading, man.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
A lot.
It's so bad, and I just wish maybe we could get to a point where we start shedding a bit more positive light on that. Not brothers hating on each other, and trying to take down each other, and if you're scamming, please stop.
Simple.
Yeah, just stop, but yeah, man, there's just so much negativity happening around the industry, and it's up to us, man, to change that narrative, So I just wish that more people could just get together, man, and just try to do more good in this industry, instead of just trying to look good.
Yeah.
Help more people. I'd say, just stop taking each other down, guys. Just stop taking each other down, guys.
No, 100%. No, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you so much. And just...
Yeah.
He's right here. And thank you very much. And all the best with everything moving forward as well.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is another installment of Market Masters with myself, Ngubile Tambani. I'll see you guys same time, same place next week.